you work with, where we can engage with your children, please talk to me afterwards. I'll sort of leave that there for a minute. We are a non-profit trust. We're dedicated to promoting photography. We are an 80G and 12AA institution. You might recognize some of the names, and some are erstwhile members, who unfortunately Mr. S. Mutaya and Keshav Desiraju are no longer with us. But it's been a fantastic journey as someone who moved to Chennai, loved photography, and then wanted to share this passion with the rest of the city and the country at large. It's been a fantastic journey that we've been part of. I'd like to just end with a 3-minute or 3.5-minute video. It's our crowdfunding video. It summarizes everything we have to say. It talks about why we do what we do. And you hear from not just me, our team, and all the other patrons and supporters who've made us who we are. At the end of this, I'm available if you'd like to help, support, or just come. I've also discussed with Mahesh that we can have a dedicated tour for the Rotary Club of Madras East that CPB will organize across our venue. So if you can spare 2 to 3 hours and want to see some art with us on a Saturday, please let's set up something, and I'd be happy to show you around personally. Thank you so much for your time. What is the role of art in times of disruption?
To serve as a record for the present.
To question without hesitation.
To be an act of resistance.
During these challenging times, we, the Chennai Photo Biennale Foundation, like many other arts initiatives, resisted pausing by continuing our work.
Through collaborations with many other arts festivals, organizations, collectives and practitioners, we were able to amplify each other's voices.
As we started working from home, our small team switched gears to build engagements in the form of transnational programs, grants for artists, virtual showcases and talks, a print sale for COVID relief, workshop for students, and fellowship programs for educators in many virtual forms.
But the question that begs to be asked is, who will support the arts in these uncertain times? Who do artists and art initiatives turn to for sustenance?
Who is art being made for?
Like many other non-profit organizations that rely on grants, sponsorship, and personal contributions, it has been extremely difficult for us to stay afloat.
We are truly grateful to people who believe in our work.
I've been amazed at how during the pandemic, when all of us have felt isolated, disconnected, and working in silos at many points, for members of the foundation to find new and exciting ways for us all to connect with each other, but also engage with this medium that all of us really love.
The power to bring together communities and the capacity to become one of the most significant events in South Asia to represent an extraordinary form of art to the global community.
An opportunity to showcase local talent on an international platform. The prospect of galvanizing and bringing together the city's culturally minded to celebrate both the art and the city.
CPB's strength is its team. They're passionate, dedicated, and my experience in partnering with them has been tremendous.
The Goethe Institute has been with the Photo Biennale since the very first moment the idea was born. The Chennai Photo Biennale is a great platform for international photography, but it's also more. The Chennai Photo Biennale team never gave up to make sure that the third edition can happen for everyone in Chennai, and since it's digital and physical, for everyone around the world too.
After a long period of uncertainty, the Chennai Photo Biennale is back with its third edition. Titled Maps of Disquiet, the Biennale will reflect on our times through the works of international, national, and local artists from over 10 countries. You will be able to visit this edition both virtually and in Chennai over a 2-month period.
Today, we are reaching out to you with a plea of support to help us carry forward our plans for the third edition of CPB.
Your support, no matter big or small, is very critical to us at this point. Here's what we have in store for you in this edition.
An exciting and innovative hybrid form for CPB Edition 3 in English and in Tamil.
Safe and engaging interventions in Chennai.
Arts mediation program for students and wider audiences.
A Biennale print publication that will be made available in different cities.
Whether you're from the arts community or not, your support is important right now. You'll have the gratitude of our team, the artists, and the professionals who made this edition possible.
Contribute to Chennai Photo Biennale 3rd edition. You're not just supporting a festival, but standing in solidarity with an entire community.
Thank you for your time and thank you for this opportunity. It's been a really pleasure. And I'm here to chat afterwards if you'd like to speak to me about anything. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We can take a couple of questions. We have a few minutes. Vijay? Yeah.
Hi. Corner. And
so there's some, and even in the government arts college,
yes.
we have to really go around asking, we went into the wrong gate, we came out. So if there could be more boards and maybe directions or.
Thank you so much for pointing that out. Actually, that's been a big learning. And oh really? Never been there. Okay.
So I knew the building kind of.
Well, I mean, this year, well, unfortunately, we don't have that problem. We don't have these large venues. These are much, much more contained, small spaces that are, easier to find. But absolutely, it's been a learning. Thank you so much for mentioning those beautiful work by Vijay Jodha and Shiva Chachi. I think that's what, the power of photography. Often we think of photographs as some pretty pictures on a wall, but photography is a very powerful medium that can communicate a lot of different things in motions and make you feel emotions. There's something about photography because it's so real, but at the same time, it's abstract that you can go with so much as a viewer. But even in this edition, we have some fantastic experiential work. We don't like to think of photography as a two-dimensional medium. We like to think of physicality and sculptural, and that's where my personal passion is. So even in this edition, we are building special fabricated tables and all kinds of things for you to see. So looking forward to seeing all of you in the venues. Thank you.
Thank you, Vijay. One more question, Venu? Yeah.
Are these artworks available for sale or they just...
No, the idea is entirely non-profit. The Biennale is free for all. But no, we don't sell anything. As a foundation, we don't engage with the buying and selling of artworks that are connected to the Biennale. We had a COVID relief print sale in which we all contributed photographs and sold them for COVID relief. But as such, we don't engage in the sale of art. We believe in to be unbiased, one must not be engaged in the commerce, because the moment I start selling, then I have to worry about what's going to sell. And the whole point is we don't want to worry about what's going to sell. It's what's going to shock you, what's going to awe you. Thank you.
The context of education that you use, is that purely school children, or are you also able to think in a bigger sort of corporate or executive context?
We do.
Specifically to marry on one side your need for sponsorship and funding, with on the other side corporates looking for bonding outlets or stress relief outlets and a way to bring executives.
Absolutely. So thank you for asking that. So actually, this is a new value proposition we opened up during COVID. In fact, with Freshworks, we piloted our first program. We did almost 400 employees over Zoom, lots of Zoom sessions. But it is one very strong value proposition that we are exploring. What's fun about it is, like, we did this program saying what is home? And the employees were going around for 20 minutes during the class taking pictures of their desk. And that itself is so cathartic often. You don't know how messy your desk is till you try to take a picture of it, or how clean it is, or what are the two objects that you want to put in a photograph if there was, if your eulogy was to be in 3 images, what would be the things that we put inside? These are interesting ideas that we play with our corporate customers, and yeah, it's something we do, so please reach out if you, yes, go ahead.
Suresh?
Related question to that.
Yeah.
As a dean of an institution now, one of the things that I often find is that many of our students basically think very analytically, and this is all about numbers, and that's the only thing that they're trained to do.
Yeah.
And I really think there is a huge opportunity to incorporate creativity into the curriculum, even in higher education.
Absolutely.
That is essential.
No, absolutely. And it's going to be the game changer that we all need to, as a collective, tackle. It's not, I think CPB is, battling one end of the spectrum, but it's also a change in perception. I think creativity has been this realm of, oh my God, you become a creative person, that means your life is ruined, right? And I come from a family of, people who have had that battle. So my mom's from advertising, from JWT. She ran Chennai office before retiring. Anita Gupta, you might know her from the old days. So yeah, I mean, I'm familiar with that world. And so the spurned, creativity is sort of the spurned child of the Indian education system. But now we need to integrate. And that need is not just with school, but I think it must start with school, because there has to be a generational shift. Like, children have to stop thinking about art as a bad thing. And I remember rulers being broken in my hand for painting the wrong color, and that art by numbers approach has to be broken in our system. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Justin.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much for your inspiring speech on art and photography, Mr. Varun. So, yeah, you can sit.
I'll go back there.
We have a guest today, a visiting Rotarian from Rotary Club of Lakeside, Bangalore. Rotary Lakeside, Bangalore is our sister club, and Rotarian